morning, everybody. I am so happy to see you. I hope you're happy to see me. Today we are live on Puerto Vallarta Real News. I'm so excited. Today's episode is so full of news. I'm not even sure we're going to cover everything. We'll probably definitely go beyond 15 minutes today, so my apologies in advance. But when it's a big news day, we need to cover it all. So it is 10 a.m. in lovely Puerto Vallarta. It is April 9th, hard to keep up some time. And of course, you are right here with me, your host, Brent Lane, and I'm so happy to see you. It is beautiful in Puerto Vallarta today. Let me show you. Here's a live shot right off the studio balcony of lovely Puerto Vallarta. A little bit overcast, but looking good out there. So let's do it. I hope you guys and gals are all having an amazing week/weekend. We are all getting ready for the weekend, but we are heading slowly and surely towards Friday and the weekend and everything going on. But let's jump into it right now. So first of all, we don't get these very often. Breaking news just hit. Puerto Vallarta has confirmed that a technical failure at well 38 is currently causing low pressure and water shortages, specifically in the upper parts of El Pitial. This is the same pump that had an electrical failure last week, as reported here on PVRN, and authorities estimate that once the repair and maintenance work is completed, progress can be made in normalizing the services. However, it might be necessary to wait for the storage tanks to recover the levels and to get a full fill of water again. So hang in there if you're in El Pitial. Sorry to tell you that water is a little bit out today. Kind of like it looks like my live broadcast again. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but we're going to have to figure this out eventually. So you are probably more than likely catching this on the replay. So sorry about that. All right, moving forward. Breathalyzers. So, hey, we have got a breathalyzer update. We get a lot of breathalyzer updates, but so breathalyzers in Puerto Vallarta caught 63 drunk drivers during the vacation period in Puerto Vallarta. So during the current holiday season, Puerto Vallarta's breathalyzer program has significantly ramped up enforcement and resulted in the detection of 63 motorists that were caught under the influence, allegedly. These operations are a collective effort between local transit authorities, the Navy, and the Army, focusing on high traffic tourist zones. And what they're doing is they conducted daily tests, warning people of, catching them as they're drinking, leaving town. It's kind of like what they usually do during the weekends. But this definitely reduces the number of fatal accidents we have here. So beyond just the DUI, screening authorities are also strictly enforcing regulations for motorcyclists. They were really cracking down on helmets. I know that we think that they don't because we see so many people out there, without them. So good to see that they're cracking down on that. And checkpoints, do remember that throughout the city every weekend, checkpoints are strategically placed. Now, I did get a message from one of my users on WhatsApp. Really appreciate that viewer messaging me that I am live. For some reason, again, I'm getting no comments. So I'm sorry, but please feel free to comment away. I just won't see them, unfortunately. I'll repost the broadcast again when this ends. This is just a little Facebook glitch I'm dealing with. So bear with me. It's not me. It's them. It sounds like I'm in a relationship with Facebook. So here's my relationship with Facebook. Just take a moment to go, beep. Cheers for joining, even if I can't hear or see you. I'm so sorry about that, but thanks for being here. All right, moving on. The Jalisco governor headed down to Ms. Maloya yesterday. We talked about this a few weeks ago, where it was nice enough for one of my viewers to send me some photos of the new pier going up. So yesterday was the big day. So Governor Pablo Lemus Navarro visited Puerto Vallarta yesterday for the long-awaited inauguration of the new Ms. Maloya pier. Look at that. That looks amazing. The 55 million peso infrastructure project, which had been under construction since last year, is now officially open to the public. The upgrade features a new pedestrian boardwalk, modern lighting, urban furniture, and high-speed internet throughout the network, significantly transforming the gateway to the South Shore for both locals and tourists alike. State and local officials have highlighted the pier as a vital component of the regional nautical staircase strategy, which is designed to improve maritime connectivity between Puerto Vallarta and coastal communities like Yalapa, Key Mixto, So for residents and tour operators, this did replace pretty much a long-standing deteriorated pier that had been there. But I imagine there could be, let's have a little one-on-one here for a second. I imagine there could be some mixed views about this. It's kind of how I felt about when they announced the Yalapa ferry, like 400 tourists coming in at once into Yalapa over and over. I'm not sure that's great for Yalapa. Ms. Maloya needed the new pier, but how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's just going to encourage more tourists coming in there? It's going to overwhelm it? Or is it just a welcome sight and needed because people getting off the boats there were falling and over themselves out into the sandy bottom, and it just was kind of hard. So I can see where this story might have a few different mixed views on it, but we'll stay tuned. For now, it looks pretty amazing. Thank you to the governor for coming down here and helping inaugurate this pier. So happy to see it open, and even if there are different views, well, we'll cheers up here. Why not? 1, 2, 3. Do it with me, even if I can't see you. All right. Next up, and a very busy news day. So Puerto Vallarta has cracked down on their regulations during the holidays to better protect tourists. So follow this one a little bit. So Puerto Vallarta's Department of Inspection and Regulations, they have intensified its monitoring efforts during the current holiday period to protect both tourists and residents. Inspectors are conducting continuous rounds through the city's commercial areas, beaches, and the Malecon to ensure that businesses adhere to local regulations and safety standards. This increased presence is focused on preventing price gouging, verifying that business permits are in place, and ensuring the public spaces remain orderly and safe during one of the year's busiest travel peaks, which we're still in. This is still week 2 of it if you've been following along. So the municipal government emphasized that these inspections are a key component of the broader 2026 Easter holiday security operation. By maintaining a visible presence in the street at major attractions, authorities aim to provide a high level of service and security for thousands of international visitors that are currently in the region. We know a lot of those are coming from Guadalajara, Mexico City. So thank you to the Departamento de Lamentos for your work in helping protect us, protect our budgets, protect our wallets, and protect our investments, and make sure those businesses are regulated during this very busy time, which we just have about 3 more days. So if you're enjoying it, and it's great for the community, of course, that's great. If you're kind of over this 2-week period and all the traffic, well, it's coming to an end soon. But I think overall it's been good enough to say that deserves one of those. All right, well, we go from upbeat to a little bit of downbeat because it's the news, and the news isn't always positive. So reaching out and saying thank you to Chris Anderson and the Anderson Report for sending this in this morning. Hope he had a nice visit again with his family, but it's a bit of a downer story. So Puerto Vallarta International Airport is facing a significant cooling trend this spring. For the second month in a row, the airport has reported negative growth, recording almost a 25% drop in total passengers this March compared to the same month last year. Now, analysts, of course, are pointing to the lingering fallout from what we call 222 as the primary reason the season seems to have ended on a bit of a low note. The decline in Vallarta is the most severe among the 12 Mexican airports managed by GAP, which is Grupo Aeropuerto del Pacífico, which saw an overall network decrease of 7.6%. Now, I know we don't use AI for the news, but every now and then I challenge AI. Give me a chart to represent what's going on in PV. And now don't laugh too much. This is almost comedic. I kind of laughed to myself because I did it this morning really, really fast, but I wanted to have a graphic to kind of show what's going on. So let's walk through this PVR, Puerto Vallarta International passenger slump graphic. It's pretty funny. I really like those little guys that are sad with their luggage. I know this isn't a funny story, but AI is kind of funny. So the decline, so international slump is in there. The biggest hit came from the overseas travelers. International passenger traffic plummeted by about 32%, dropping from 531,400 last year to just 360,800 this March. There's also a domestic dip. Now it's not quite as drastic. Local travel was more resilient, but still down. Domestic arrivals reached 215,000 and change, and a 6.8 decrease from the previous year. Now, the quarterly totals for the first quarter of 2026, the airport has seen a total of almost 2 million passengers, which is roughly 9.5% lower than the 2.1 million tracked during the same period in 25. Lastly, we hear a lot of stuff about flight capacity. The airlines have scaled back slightly, with the volume of available seats decreasing about 4.5%. Furthermore, planes are flying less full, as we've seen in many photos that have been shared about our area. And so the load factor, which is employment factor, that's an interesting one to look up, dropped from 81.5% to 75.5%. Oh my gosh, maybe I don't need it, but let's have a coffee. I think maybe I've had too much. Never too much coffee. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that graphic, and it kind of walked you through a little bit of what's going on in real news regarding the airport and the amount of traffic out there. But I will say, let's do a little positive here, that despite this drop, the airport is expanding its reach with several new routes that launched just this last month. Southwest Airlines introduced a new service between Puerto Vallarta and San Diego and St. Louis, Missouri. These additions, along with the new regional flights from carriers like Valeras and Eros, represent the airport's strategy to recover momentum heading into the summer months. Now, how can you help? How can we as a PVRN community help all this? I mean, it sounds self-serving, so bear with me, but keep sharing PVRN news daily to help you realize that we're safe and it's still amazing here. You know, it's still an amazing place. I mean, hey, let's just pull up my live shot of the day here really quick. Remember this? Just a couple minutes ago? Boom. It's amazing here. So sure, we have got problems. Sure, we have things going on. But I will say this. For most people coming here, the problems here are probably less than the problems where you're coming from. And those are all kinds of problems. So again, even one of my friends messaged me, Melissa, if you're out there and you're saying hi this morning, I'm sorry I can't say hi back. But she has a friend who's, really scared of coming here because they're reading the news and seeing a lot of these reports. And so, they're going to stay at Vedanta behind closed doors, of course. And I get that. Being a little safer, that's fine. But realize also by sharing this news, I think it kind of helps people understand we're not, just burning oxos and everything that happened. We're a whole lot of this every single day of the week and a whole lot of fun. So let's get the tourists back out here. All right. Again, if you're ever missing this show, and I'm sorry I'm missing you today, make sure you hit the follow button on my profile. Follow me on YouTube if you miss a live episode, and then you can email me anytime at pvrnmx@gmail.com. All right. Let's hop into entertainment with the few minutes we have left and what's going on in the community right now. We are still heading towards April 12th, which will be the end of the 2-week period of Semana Santa, Semana de Pascua. So students are still out. Vacation is still happening. But I also want to remind you, tomorrow night is the big event. If you were here a couple days ago, you got to see DJ Dan here, spinning some tracks, talking about his amazing event coming up. So again, I think y'all know about this, but if you long for 80s and 90s music, you want to hang out with me more than you do every day at 10 a.m., then come on out, because this is going to be the best dance party of the 80s and 90s. DJ Dan's from Canada. He's going to transform you back to the 80s and 90s tomorrow, April 10th, with custom music mixes, mashups from those 80s and 90s. It's going to take place out at Rancho Tierra Madre. You're seeing a few of those photos as this thing comes around right here in Puerto Vallarta. The music's going to start at 8, but you can come early with your family, hang out, see what Rancho Tierra Madre is all about. It's beautiful out there. It's right by the Butterfly Sanctuary. And I think it's going to be fun. There's going to be food vendors on site, a cash bar. Music requests are welcome. It's a stress-free night out for all ages, just to bump along to the music. Tickets are only 250 pesos or 350 at the door. And if you're a PVRN viewer, please enter promo code PVRN, all caps, to receive a discount. How about that? Working for you guys. You can also use code Gen X from the Gen X Pats. Get a discount. I'm fighting to keep money in your wallet, y'all. And for that, we'll do a quick coffee cam. Boom. Money in the wallet. Love it. All right. In further events, and I know we're about to be past the 15-minute mark, but this is an important one. There's going to be a free clinic for sterilization for 2 days in Bahia de Banderas, and this is going to be running today, the 10th and the 11th. This is for your pets, obviously. Don't get scared. So the government is through the Department of Environment and Animal Welfare is hosting a free pet sterilization campaign today, tomorrow, and the next day to make service available to more residents. The clinics will be held at 2 different locations this time. The first 2 days, the 9th and the 10th, will be based in San Vicente, while the final day is going to shift out up north to Bucerias. This initiative is part of an ongoing municipal effort to promote responsible pet ownership, control the stray population, and improve public health within the community. Pet owners are reminded that space is limited and services are typically provided on a first-come basis. And to participate, pets must be at least 3 months old, clinically healthy, free of parasites or fleas and ticks, and have an 8-hour fast period prior to the procedure. Additionally, owners must bring 1 copy of their official ID, that's their INE, to ensure their pets are secured with a leash as well or in a proper carrier. As always, these efforts are supported by local safety checks, are supported by a lot of local groups. You know who you are out there, so thank you so much to those groups here in Puerto Vallarta that really help support these initiatives and get out there and try to control that pet population. As Bob Barker always said, you got to control that pet population. So good for them, great for them. I love that. We're getting lots of coffee cam today. Again, if you're on live right now, and I'm not interacting with you, I'm so sorry. I've got to figure out a Facebook glitch, but I'm working on it every day. All right, last but not least, I talked about this one, so I'm going to keep it really brief today. But once again, reminding you that when we do have something going on, we might as well go ahead and promote it. So the 4th annual Chocolate Festival returns. It's going to be this weekend. It's the only big event I know this weekend right now, so that's why I'm talking about it again, but it's on the 10th and 11th, and it's going to offer that deep dive into a cultural, culinary heritage of Mexican chocolate. And it's hosted at the far east end of Isla Cual, and the events feature an array of artists, vendors, tasting, educational workshops led by experts, and most of all, chocolate. Who doesn't want chocolate? Absolutely. So just check it out. You can get on there at www.festivaldelcacaovallarta.com, or just check them out on WhatsApp, +52 984 804 5266. That's a lot of news today. We hit about 17 minutes and we're not quite done yet. I hope you're following me on my profile. We're going to figure out the technical glitches soon and I'll let it go, but I hope you're seeing me live. I'm just not seeing you. All right. That's the end of the show for today. I do want to remind you that here at the end of the show is very important part to keep this show going, to keep it daily, to keep on moving forward and not inundate you with sponsorships. I do run the sponsors at the end of the show rather than all during it, except for the ticker at the bottom. So please hang out a minute, support these sponsors. Please tell them PVRN sent you, and that's why we keep this show going forward. So have an amazing day. I know that was a lot of fast talk, but we had a lot of fast news. Love seeing you. Tomorrow, reminder, is Casual Friday. Hopefully we'll be interactive. I can't wait to see you for that show. Make sure you bring your best casual clothes, bring a coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on PVRN. Thanks for joining me.